Good evening. I am back. I shouldn't say I'm back because I probably won't do this again for a while, but I've been off and I started a little session I did call Think About This, and my purpose was to provoke thought. But now I had to lay low for a while, but I'm back. And I just want to say today that I'm back because it is such a hard thing for me to swallow. You know, when you have been brought up in a country that you think is the greatest country in the world, and you see that country starts to slide, then it causes some concern. So, what I want you to think about this time is I want you to think about the state of America. And what I am going to point out to you, you already know. As we watch the news, we see that there are literally hundreds of thousands of people coming across our borders. Now, that in itself is a bad thing. And I want to start by asking you to think about this. You have in Washington, D.C., this Capitol with a fence around it, with razor wire on top, and National Guard to keep American people out who pay the rent. And our borders are just open for anybody to come in whenever they choose. Now, the last count I heard, there was 54 nationalities coming that had been noted or recorded coming across our borders. 54 nations or nationalities of people are coming across. So they're coming from everywhere. Now, that in itself is terrible. But what else I want you to think about, because I got a couple of things you need to think about, and that is our homeless situation from the past few years. Our homeless situation was way out of hand and out of proportion, but nobody did anything to help the homeless or to try to find refuge for them. And now we find with all of these people coming across the border, we're spending $86 million on hotel rooms for those people. Now, our people, they just homeless. But these people, they get hotel rooms. And you hear not a price tag, but they're building facilities everywhere they can to provide places for these people to stay. So you have to think about that. The American citizen is being overlooked. The alien who is breaking the law to come here in the first place gets the red carpet treatment. And here again, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We can't move around freely. We can't have large gatherings and so forth. But the aliens, they can go anywhere they choose. Well, not where they choose, but they're putting them on buses and planes and sending them wherever they decide that they should go. But you can't go, or you can't mingle. So you need to think about that. And here's another thing that I want you to think about. The Dallas Conventional Center is full. San Diego Conventional Center is full. When the last time have you heard of them filling those centers with homeless Americans, veterans, people who had businesses and jobs and just lost everything and are now homeless? Nobody is going out of their way to put them up any place. It's heartbreaking when you see these kind of things taking place. Our children, they can't go to school. Teachers say they won't go to teach until certain conditions are met. And in the San Diego facility, they have in-person teaching. They're teaching those kids, but they won't teach the kids that are here legally, the American citizens, the tax-paying kids. So what I'm saying is that we're in a situation now that I think that needs to be looked at, and we all are going to have to start speaking out. Otherwise, we're going to be overrun. We're going to be overrun. And there's not going to be a thing that we can do about it because it'll be too late. But just think about this. What happened to taking care of home before you spread your generosity abroad. But that's what's taking place now. And there doesn't seem to be any end to it. The people who are supposed to be handling it hasn't even been to the border, I understand, so they don't see what's going on. And here's the last thing I want to mention before I go, and that is the unattended minors that are there. A couple of years ago, those minors were being snatched out of their parents' hands, arms, and thrown in cages. Now there is 6 or 7 times more of those kids, and they're being thrown over the fence and just unaccompanied. Think about that. And when you think about that, think about thinking of things for yourself and arriving at a conclusion that you're comfortable with, rather than listening to what people say and what people tell you and then running off with an opinion based upon what you heard. Look, think, and make your own decision. Think about that. God bless. Okay, Bruce.